Whoa, whoa, whoa! There is a lot to unpack from this episode. What's up, YouTubers of the world? megageekmixer here to give you guys my review on this week's episode of Stargirl, Ep.2, titled Stripes. And since it's Stripes, we gotta just start off with him right there. And first off, the CGI, I'm pretty sure I talked about it a little bit in my last review, but in this review, since we're getting a much better look at it, all I gotta say is I love it. It looks amazing. They definitely put their best effort into making sure this CGI of a mechanic look as great as it can, and I love it. It really does look cool. I love definitely how Pat was training with it, because he just pretty much is now starting to use it, so he hasn't worked out the kinks to it yet, as it were. But that is how it always is with engineers, scientists and stuff. Anything they make, they gotta work on the kinks and stuff and everything to it. And what better way to work on it? By training. Make sure everything works so well. And man, when he was training, I was just laughing all that time with how he was training. And just trying to get that rocket launcher to rocket punch out there and then let it hit him. Oh man, that was so funny and so hilarious. But I think what was an interesting thing here was when he went to that gym, to that guy, what's his name, Larry or something? I can't remember his name. I think, yeah, he called himself Larry, but calls himself Crusher. Now, first off, I think it's pretty obvious. This guy is a member of the Injustice Society, and after looking at that episode, I went to research more on him because I knew he was one of them, and now I figured out who he is. Sportsmaster. Yeah, and well, that makes perfect sense with him and everything. And don't worry, we'll talk a little more about him along with others here later. But going back into Pat, he had first back in last episode when he was visited by this Crusher guy, he was like, I'm not going to be doing any of this. I'm not gonna go out there and work out. I don't need to. But here, he decided to change his mind. Although, yeah, if he's expecting all this thing about like how Pat's expecting things to be okay and it won't be so bad, he's finding out no, that's not the case, because no surprise, this guy's being on him. And I'm just like, Pat, I hope you know what you're doing. And because I'm starting to think he knows some of the Injustice Society of America, but at the same time, he doesn't know all of them. Because if he did, he would have known who this guy was. Or better yet, probably not, because at the same time, Sportsmaster is always having a mask. So, maybe not on that end. But we'll get back into that one later. As for, like, what other stuff we got with Pat? Well, he and Courtney's relationship is getting a little better. At the beginning, it was still in that phase where Courtney's still just not wanting anything to do with him or anything. But then, as time went on, she started to come to respect him. And in the fact that at the end, when Pat was trying to fight Brainwave, she and him worked together to do it. And after that battle, Courtney actually accepts him. Maybe not as a father, so to speak, or maybe kind of say as somewhat of family just for her mother's sake, but she does choose him as his sidekick. Because one thing we did take away from here was that Pat, even though he was doing all this to protect his family, and he didn't really want to get involved and was only doing it try to get justice for his friends, he at the same time admits that he's not sure if he's ready to do this. Mostly out of guilt for not being able to save his friends the last time and everything. But this definitely at least shows us why we can understand the different dynamics here, and that the adult's the sidekick while a teenager is the hero. It makes us understand that for some of us who don't know Stripes or Stargirl, this helps us better understand why she's the hero and he's the sidekick. He's not really wanting to do this, he's more on doing it for necessity, out of like justice for his friends and everything. And I can get that. I really can get that. So, but it is good to know that there are at least relationships growing, and no doubt it'll continue to grow even more so to where, hey, maybe Courtney will even actually start to consider him a father, even though Starman's her father. At least for right now, that's debatable. It's not necessarily been confirmed, but it's kind of like saying that's what we're going to go with for now. But another thing to take away from this episode is how like they like gave us a lot more information on the Injustice Society, like which ones characters are which for the most part. Like the magician guy, Brainwave visits him late at the beginning of the episode, where he actually tells him about what the Injustice Society is doing in Blue Valley, and it's some sort of grand plan called Project New America. Now, what does that mean going forward? I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But maybe it has something to do with why this town is so friendly and all seem like, hi, what's up, hi. All I just know is, for right now, that's all I can get. That it has something to do with why the town's so friendly. And speaking of which, when it comes to a town like that, and then stuff like that high school, which felt more normal around, like how there are people who just don't like the other people because they're nerds, this or that or this. It makes you know that place seems to be the more better part of town. I know that sounds strange, but I'm sure that if you guys live in a neighborhood where everyone's all so friendly that it can creep you out, then yeah, you definitely know something's off. And hey, maybe they'll see it going forward. But as for everything else with the Injustice Society, like first off, when it comes to another thing about father and daughter or son relationships, we see another thing here with Brainwave and his son. And yeah, we see they have something of a strained relationship here. Not that I can necessarily blame it. I mean, come on, let's look at it. Brainwave's using his brain powers all the time. Now, I think his son notices it, and yeah, at the same time, maybe he doesn't. All I just know is that like, yeah, strained relationship. No one's telling what's going to come from that, and we're just going to have to wait and see moving forward. But I think my most favorite part of the episode right now would have to be at the homecoming or school gathering or whichever way that was, where Courtney, Pat, and her mother went to her school's gathering, and then there were all those characters there who are all going to play major roles later on. And all I gotta say is during that scene, it was just both thrilling and intense. I'm just like saying to myself, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? This is getting intense. This is getting intense. And boy, it was intense, especially when Courtney finally found Brainwave and they had that confrontation there. And yeah, very big confrontation. Even, yeah, Courtney was scared, but at the same time, she was brave enough to know that while she's scared, she's not running away. She's going to, what's the best way to put it here? Oh yeah, step up and do what's right to save her mother, because Brainwave was going to threaten her mom. But this is also where I think finally Courtney started to respect Pat, because in the end, it was Pat told her not to go so he can go and take care of it, because he was doing all this for her and her mother. I think it's right there that Courtney finally saw how much devotion and how much love that he had for her mother. That in the end, of course, she disobeyed orders and came out with her new Stargirl outfit, where at the beginning of the episode, we see her use the school's sewage and everything to make it to her own likings. And first off, I gotta say, did I love that music playing in the background as she was fixing it to suit her needs. Yeah, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. No better way to put it for what Courtney said. She knew what she needed to do. A girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Definitely that's definitely the best way to put it for Courtney. So, no lies there. That was great. And speaking of other music backgrounds, I definitely love the one that we had as Icicle made his entrance into Blue Valley and showed his way to the underground place where the Injustice Society's headquarters is, where also they have that poster there. And yeah, we see here that with Icicle Man in town now, things are about to get intense. But what other things do he has in store for us? Well, only time will tell. But now that I put all that out of the way, I must talk about the battle between Stargirl and Strides versus Brainwave. So yeah, first off, Stripes tries to fight this guy, and yeah, don't go so well because, hey, still working out the kinks to the thing, but I do say that when Stargirl came in and how she started using all of her gymnastic skills, flipping around, and had staff helping her out and moving fast and blasting the guy, what a sight. But I think the biggest sight of them all was when she finally defeated Brainwave by having the staff put to his head, and then all that light show and special effects on that side. Man, that was incredible. It was insane. I was just like, whoa, now this is unreal. This is awesome. And man, what an amazing special effects on that end there. It was unreal. I could not believe what I saw. It was just cool. And I just hope we get to see more of stuff like that in the future. Maybe not the same thing, but maybe something similar to it or close to it, like a lower level. I don't care. I just can't wait to see it. I'm sure it'll be awesome, and I can't wait. But you know what, guys? I think I've rambled on enough. And just to let y'all know, they did mention how that cosmic staff wasn't made by Starman. They actually name dropped the person who made it, that being Ted Knight, who in the comics, it was the one who had it at first, but then his son took it over, and then his son gave it to Courtney. So at least we know that end. But until then, guys, I'll leave it all at that for now. And hey, if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!